This season, Man United have created an XG of 41.2, but they've only scored 41 goals. The Man Cities and the Arsenals of this world, their XG is around 57 and 59. They've scored 71 and 70 goals, respectively. So is the missing part for Man United now a striker? Is that if you're going out and you've got your list and you want to get yourself some Man United players, is the striker position the number one position that you need to sort out first?
I think they would love to. I think that would be, a big thing for Manchester United, because I think they've got that midfield with Casemiro, and now that Eriksen's coming back, I think that they are two brilliant signings for Manchester United. I think they were strong. You've got good defenders coming in now as well, the likes of Varane as well and Martinez. So I think, if they can get a striker that will work well with the players that are currently in the squad. I think that is the main thing for every team, is you can be a top striker, you can be one of the best players, but are you going to work? Are you going to fit into that dressing room? Are you going to be a player for that club? And everything has to kind of fit in seamlessly. And I think that's really important for Manchester United, because they obviously have stepped up a level from where they were at. Yeah. There have been some inconsistent performances, and there were performances which just weren't a Manchester United performance. And the Erik ten Hag, the manager, said it, especially after that Newcastle game. Newcastle was simply the better team. But they need to have a player that can make that difference. Marcus Rashford has been in great form for Manchester United this season, but to have that extra string to their bow, I think would really help them.
I think the bottom line is, say with Wout Weghorst, comes in, everything gets seen through the lens of if you're winning or losing games. With Weghorst, everyone's going, what a guy, we love him. He's not scoring. Don't worry about scoring. That's not, you work hard. That's enough. As soon as you start losing a couple of games, you start to go, well, now actually we need someone to kind of put the ball in the back of the net. I think overall, Ten Hag wants a team player. The Ronaldo thing, Ronaldo was the opposite, wasn't he? Pure output, scored goals, but you didn't get the other bits of it, and those intangibles that do lead to results as well. So they want someone that's complete. And the bottom line is, it's Man United. Sorry, I know other people do this line, this is Man United Football Club, but it is, and you can't just have a guy who works hard up front. You have to have someone who's clinical and scores goals. And that's Harry Kane, isn't it?
Yeah, Harry Kane's going to score goals wherever he plays. And I think if you're looking for a quick fix, someone who is all of those attributes that United fans and the management would want, he's creative, he's a world-class striker, he does it year in year in year, does it for England, outside of a Spurs shirt, he's going to score goals. And everything is lined up that Harry Kane can go there and have an instant impact, score goals, and be the focal point for Manchester United. It's more just about, does he want to go and do a challenge where he will be the main man, but the comfort of being at Spurs when you've been there for so long, that's difficult to walk away from. And if people are saying he wants to go and win a league, he wants to go and win a trophy, I still think United are a bit of a way off winning a league. Well, even with Harry Kane in there.
So I think, look, if you apply his goals, and when we're talking about XG, generally, that metric is, if you're going past that consistently, and that's what Harry Kane does, 20 goals from an XG of 16, means that you're scoring goals from opportunities that aren't of that higher quality, and that's the difference between the great teams and the other guys. So, in terms of Harry Kane being the answer, he provides that. I think you've got an interesting point here where it comes to the strategy of Man United in terms of their transfers. Do they want to build with an element of youth, with someone who's going to be an asset that's going to kind of get better? Or, again, with it being Man United, is it just like, well, let's just go get the best in class, and that's Harry Kane, and have that instant impact? Would you be concerned about having someone who is turning 30, is getting to that stage of his life?
I don't think anyone would be concerned if Harry Kane joined Manchester United. I think he would fit in seamlessly in that Manchester United team. I think he would, if he's only just turning 30, he still has, quite a few years left.
I just think it would say, like Osimhen, you've got someone who's scoring goals but younger, and you're going to get 8-10 years out of him instead of 4.
Yeah, agreed. And I do think that is a big thing with Manchester United, is they do like that youth, and they have such a big sort of focus on their academy and bringing players through. And what a great thing to do as a football club, to be able to bring younger players through into the first team and have that longevity. But I think there are, with players like Harry Kane, who are going to make the instant impact that you're looking
Sure
for.
thing, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he is going to get you goals. He will fit in seamlessly because you've got players like Marcus Rashford in on that left-hand side who has been so great already this season, and he can provide the assists, but he can also provide goals as well. And I do think that Harry Kane would be a good option for Manchester United. Of course, it's whether he would even want to join Manchester United. We'll have to wait and see. But I don't think there's any doubt that if he was to join, that anybody would say, "Oh, that's not a good fit." I think he would fit in quite well.
Let's not forget as well, his overall play is world class. He's a 10 as well. His passing ability is incredible. He could drop deeper. There's no reason United couldn't go and get Harry Kane for instant impact, and then one of the younger targets, and they work in tandem, because he's not just a goal scorer. He's a complete forward player.
Yeah, and I actually think the reason why I like Harry Kane going there is the fact that I think those players that you've brought in to have instant impact, you're not going to get that resale value. You know, this isn't Brighton where you've got to kind of, well, we need to think about that player leaving and we need to look to grow the club. Man United have so much money coming in all the time. Getting a spine that could give you that opportunity to actually really have a little push at it, I think that the ripple effect of someone like Kane in this side is huge, because that spine all of a sudden, and I know let's talk about the goalkeeper as well, but regardless, say De Gea stays, that's a very experienced goalkeeper. You've got Varane and Martinez plays on the front foot, Varane's so experienced, Casemiro in midfield, and then Kane up top. That is a really, really strong spine. And you've spoken about Rashford, Fernandes as well. If he comes into that team, does that benefit those two players? Because you want to bring in someone who's going to benefit the rest of the team as well. I think he'd be perfect for the likes of Rashford and Fernandes.
Especially with his creativity, it takes some of the pressure off those guys who have had to do a lot of the goals and assists and creating for Manchester United. That spine is vital. And we're not talking about someone who's in the twilight years. He's in his prime, and he's probably got 4 or 5 years if he can stay fit as a main player at Manchester United. It's not, you're not looking at getting 2 good years out of Harry Kane. He could be at the top of the Premier League and as the focal point for Manchester United for the next 5 seasons, and drop in and free up other people to go and score goals, and it could be perfect with Rashford.
Yeah, I think a massive problem for Man United has been when Casemiro has not been in the team, and the reason for that is because you end up playing a double pivot, and when you play a double pivot, you've got one less player further up the pitch, and Bruno Fernandes in particular, if you watch that Newcastle game, he's so far away from one, Rashford, who's his guy, and secondly, just high up the pitch. That's another thing where, say you don't have Casemiro, but you do have a double pivot because you know he gets suspended, because that's what Casemiro does sometimes. What Kane brings as well is, as you say, someone who can drop deep, get on the ball, and you can trust that he's either going to win a foul, the way that he always does, or he's going to play an amazing pass. And so the players like Rashford will go. He will make that run because you know you're going to find him. If you think of that record-breaking partnership with Heung-min Son, 43 goals from that pairing alone. If you took Rashford and popped in where Son plays for Tottenham, you would go, off you go. It would be exactly the same. So that's going to work brilliantly for Rashford. Fernandes is the only one, I wonder if, will he just have that right side of the pitch and he'll deal with it there, or would Harry Kane and Fernandes maybe get in each other's way a little bit if Kane was to come? Would Fernandes be bothered? What do you think?
I don't think he'd be bothered. I think when you know you are playing with, you know, world class, top quality players, in a sense, it just makes you play better as well. It makes you want to play better for the team, and I think they will. I think that they will work out a system that works best to get the best out of both Harry Kane and Bruno Fernandes, because Bruno Fernandes as well, when he is at his best, you know, there has been some inconsistencies, but when he's at his best, he is such a strong player, and he has that ability to read a game so well. Is the ability to control what's happening for Manchester United, to really be that core central player for Manchester United. So I think it will just be a sense of just getting used to how best does he work in this system. I don't think that we'll struggle with a player like Harry Kane coming in, and whether that would sort of go against what Manchester United are. I think it's just, how do you use a system to play the best with the players around you? I don't think it would be centrally just all about Harry Kane, because they've got players around them, Manchester United, that work so hard. So I think it would just be working together as a full squad. How are you going to get the best out of every player?
These are intelligent players, and if I was Fernandes, I'd be looking at Harry Kane if he was to go to United and think, this is someone who's going to win me games, win this club trophies. How can I adapt? How can I help you, Harry?
Exactly,
How can you? And also, how will you help me? Because you'll be able to drop in, I'll be able to go long. If I drop in, I know that I can cross it, find it to you. So these are intelligent players, and I think if I was Fernandes or someone like that, there might be a few areas of the pitch where you need to change your movement, but that's what all the best partnerships and teams do. And I'd be looking at Harry Kane coming to United if that was to happen, thinking, this is someone who can go and really win us games.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you might see a new side of Bruno Fernandes, where previously he's been that sort of chief creator. I think when he sees Kane with the ball, that's his cue to go and concentrate on scoring goals, and maybe be that third man runner when he finds Rashford, or as a bit of a decoy there as well. So I think, look, Victor Osimhen would be a great signing. Harry Kane would be a great signing. The more I keep talking about it, I just keep thinking Harry Kane would be absolutely wonderful for Man United. Do you think it will happen? Do you think he will be a Man United player come August?
It's a tricky one, really, isn't it? Because I think Manchester United will want to go for it. It depends whether he wants to leave Spurs. It depends whether, like you said, whether he wants to hold on to that legacy that he's created at Spurs. But there was talk, a couple of years ago that he wanted to leave, and that whole thing, wasn't that was in the news about whether or not he was going to stay or not, and then he ended up staying, and he sort of, his heart was at Spurs. So it just all depends whether Mr. Harry Kane wants to leave.
Breaking that legacies, it must be so difficult for those players. I think if I'm Harry Kane with 1 year left on my contract, I'm going in asking, who are we signing in the summer that's going to keep me here? Because he'll get records. He's going to be known as the greatest Premier League striker until Haaland maybe does it in a few years. But I'd be going and asking, who are we signing, and what's going to keep me here to miss out on the chance of, maybe he'll win some trophies if they sign, but you'd want the guarantee that there were new faces coming in the door at Spurs, because everyone's talked about this Spurs project. Amazing stadium, incredible facilities. It's got everything there. Now we need to bring in the players to win people like Harry Kane trophies and be competing for the big games and the big cups. So if I was Kane, I'm going in and saying, who are we getting in this summer?
I think you'd be being incredibly generous. I think he's gone. I think, and you haven't even got a director of football anymore. You haven't got a manager anymore. You haven't got a squad, and he's done that. I think time and again he's gone, guys, is this going anywhere? Is this going anywhere? Yeah. And he's already the top scorer for Tottenham of all time. I think his mind is made up. I think for Tottenham, it's probably now the time for them to start to rebuild as well. I think he's gone. I think he'll be a Man United player very soon.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.